garage is awfully full right now. Well, we got a lot going on in the garage today. We're moving the RZR out. We're gonna clean all this stuff up. We got a bunch of stuff that came from the guy we bought the car from. Manifolds and all kinds of pieces and parts and everything, and even got a sandblaster. So we got all the little things we need to finish this job. We're gonna clean up the harness. We're gonna get the alternator put on. We're gonna get this out, power wash the engine bay, and then power wash that transmission. It's not so bad. We really got to concentrate on getting all the oil from where the engine leak was. That side's not that bad. Do a deep clean. The fuel lines, we're gonna want to keep the fuel lines from getting water. But take that motor mount out of there too, because we probably have to replace that. Let's get to it. The oil lines off the oil cooler. I'll show you that in a second. And they are completely soaked. One's a pressure line, but one is just dumps back into the oil pan, and I think it's this one or a fitting or something, and they're completely soaked. I'm going to get replacements like everything else. Inline coolant in the coolant line. It's got this oil cooler, so it goes in there, comes out here, dumps into the back of the pan. I don't know if we're going to replace it. I don't know if we're going to even use it, but we're going to leave it like that while we clean this sucker up. Off, we're going to at least put a new filter and stuff in it to get any water that might be in the fluid out, and probably replace that because why not, we're there. Also found, we're also going to put these new seals in here. We're going to replace every damn motor mount on this thing, and we got to figure this out, but that's later. So that's what we wanted to put our little engine back in too. Well, we got a lot done yesterday. We got the transmission cleaned up, and we got the engine bay cleaned up, but what we don't have is the little things for the transmission. We decided that we were going to, well, we got it out, we might as well do the right thing. Change the oil, change the filter, the pan gasket, that stuff. Change the torque converter seal, because something was leaking. I'm pretty sure it was the rear main or the oil pan itself, but we'll have replaced everything but the rear main. But there's oil everywhere in this car, so it's change everything. In the process, we made another mess. We cleaned up everything but the garage, but we took everything and put it up here. So we're gonna go evaluate what's good, what's bad. Motor mounts are bad. Every motor mount's bad. Hopefully I get this cleaned up, get an idea what to do, and start putting the injectors in the harness on today. That'd be great. So we found some cracks in these injector boots right here. You can't get just the boot, so you got to get the whole injector, which are about 50 bucks, but that box of parts has plenty of injectors in it, so we're gonna just swap them out with some other old used ones out of the other cars. But the deal with the car, they actually wanted us to take all 4 cars, but we got most of the parts in one car. Came this magic box of stuff. which also, yes, included 3 engine gasket kits that I could have used before I bought the one I bought. This has just a butt ton of brand new pieces and parts. Everything from urethane filler, O2 sensors, radiator hoses, water pumps, everything. Timing cover, belt kit, the whole works is in that kit. So I'm going to dig through that box, find the O-ring set for the injectors, and start getting that on today. Fuel rail all cleaned up. I actually polished it. We've got the hoses all cleaned up. Magic box had some spark plugs in it, alternator, water pump belt, all the O-rings for the injectors. There are 2 of them still drying. We're gonna get the alternator on today too. That's a new alternator with almost no miles on it. So that's the goal for today. Working on these Toyotas is they got tabs on these little lines. Going back here, it's hard to see, but there's one right here. So the line has to only go one way. These are clocked with a tab on it, so they can only go into one spot. They don't fit in the others. Everything just kind of falls into place here, and it's quite nice. Injection system's all bolted down onto the engine. We got some brackets and paint here. Decided to paint those. Bolted down here. So I got spark plugs in it. I might throw the plug wires on it and a couple other things, even though I got something special planned for these valve covers. But ever so slightly closer to this mess. Status of vacuum plugs and other things like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 21, 22, 23. What you can do with some crappy old aluminum and mother's polish, not a sponsor. It's not done, it's not perfect, but it sure looks a whole lot better than it did. So did the rail too. So, I've been out here for 6 hours-ish on a Sunday morning. I got a lot of stuff done, not a lot of it I got on film because most of it was buffing this intake out time and time again. I went 2-3 times. Fuel rails in, all the fuel lines ran in. I installed this back here. This is just loose on here because the valve covers have to get bee blasted, and then we're gonna have something special for that because it's gotta look as good as this now. So I did find out I had these on backwards. That's why I put this on there. I have somewhere around 21 to 24 ports of vacuum fuel lines and coolant spots that I don't know where everything goes. And I'm getting to that part of the job where I don't remember where everything goes. And now I have roughly 3 or 4 other cars worth of parts here. So if I'm missing something, good. But if I have an extra one, I don't know. The big thing's going to be putting this header on. We finally got a header for it, and that's going to go on when we put it back in the car. I'm not going to leave that on and try to put it back on. But before we can put the transmission on this thing, we need to deal with this. These are a lot of bolts and stuff, and I think most of them are put the transmission back on kind of bolts, or put the power unit back in the car. But this is a mess. This is gonna take some time. Then when I'm done with that, every mount this thing had was bad. It's gonna be so much better than it was when we had it. It's so much work. The question is, how detailed do I get with this thing? Do I go get some more conduit, this stuff, which I can get new, it's clean, and then tape it up, or do I just tape up what I got and remove the crap I don't? Let's start with removing the crap I don't want on there anymore. How about that? Inspection and cleaning of the harness, and we got about 60% of the way done. We have one end come off I have to repair later, and that's kind of hard to see here, but I got some frayed wires on both of these wires, so take all my skill to pull a 1986 Toyota harness apart and repair it. See what we can do. So a while back, before I think I bought the car just to have, saw some, I don't know, infomercials or something. And I haven't used any of these, but I'll grab a big one. These are these heat shrink soldering butt connectors. So I got a heat gun, I got a small torch. I'm gonna try to use a couple of these for the first time. So we'll get a little bit of a review on these. Amazon had them for, I don't know, $9 or something like that. So amazing way to get there. It's like Harbor Freight, but free shipping. So those things work pretty good. You gotta watch how they dry and how they cool, but those work pretty good. Filming a lot. Got a new torque converter seal in it. We put new, hard to see, pan gasket on it. Not real, cleaned everything up. Not real film worthy. Nope, that's not yet. But got some other things going on. Got the sandblaster working, and that works a treat. I just wish my compressor could keep up. But we noticed primed. I still haven't said what I'm going to do with a color scheme yet. I know, and just haven't done it. Haven't set it. So once those are on, the harness can go on, which is all done. Then we can start putting this together with that. And then we can start putting it in that car. second just to thank anybody who watched these videos. I started these videos kind of more of a documentary of what I was doing. We're getting close to getting this done. Thanks for watching, comment, share, do all that stuff. Thank you.